And welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with the Honorable Joe Oliver, former Canadian Finance Minister and Natural Resources Minister for that matter, and the Honorable Candice Bergen, former Stephen Harper Cabinet Minister and leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. So we were talking about interprovincial trade barriers at the break. So, Joe, you wanted to make a brief point on that?
Yes, it's a huge issue, and developing internal trade in a freer way than we have in the past will mean uh, we've got free trade in our own country, which we haven't, and we had freer trade with the Americans, which is sort of ironic. One indication that Carney is not going to be helpful in this issue is how strongly he came out in defense of the supply management. Now, I think Pierre Polyev may have done that as well, but we have to break that problem because it's been an incredible irritant. Lighthouser, who was the president's trade negotiator during his first term, referred to that as a kind of a Soviet style cartel, which I think it is. And, I've been railing against it for a long time because actually it's not good for Canada. It produces higher prices for critical food staples like meat, cheese, eggs, and poultry, and disproportionately hurts the least advantaged in the country. So there are some things that the president wants to do that are defensible and actually in our interest, and we should do them. Another is of course defense, and we need to be able to defend our borders, particularly in the north against
Mhm.
Chinese and Russian incursion. Um, we need a military to do that. We need a
Mhm.
stronger border in the south to prevent illegal arms from coming in and an influx of migrants. So there are things we have to do in the short term also,
Right.
and free trade is one of them internally.
Candice Bergen, your thoughts on interprovincial trade barriers?
Well, I'd like to go back, if I could, Tony, to the original question that
Yeah.
you posed to us and have an opportunity. I think one of the policies that Pierre has announced that is really good and going to really turbocharge our economy if he wins is the deferral of capital gains. If
Right.
an investor sells that his or her investment, or company makes profit, makes the gain on it, but reinvests that in Canada, we are going to see a huge impact. And the irony with the Liberals and their housing policy is that, you know, just as recently as the last few months, they've been introducing policy again, repeating Pierre's policy. We have to remove the gatekeepers so private home builders can build and make sure that it's advantageous for them to do it, which is part of what Pierre's announcement would do. It would be all kinds of infrastructure would be built under that type of a policy. Whereas Carney now announcing a total abrupt turn as far as liberal policy. Now the liberals are going to start building housing. They're going to get, as Joe Oliver said, this is unbelievable. So in one sense, they're turning more right. We're going to scrap the carbon tax, but then they're going hard left on still consistent with their anti-energy policy and then building housing. My question and concern, and when is Bay Street and business people who were red, I would say, or sort of blue Tories, and said they didn't like Trudeau because he was too far to the left, they now decided they like Carney. Joe, Tony, you guys are in Toronto. Are their eyes being opened with what they're seeing now with Carney? Are they recognizing that he is just as liberal? He's even further left than Justin Trudeau was in terms of his policy. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Joe, you got 15 seconds to answer that one.
Alas, I don't see it. I think that this is a real sleight of hand. Carney is presenting himself as something new when in fact it's going to be a fourth liberal
Right.
term. And we're seeing that
Sure.
in all the background to all of the fake policy promises that he's putting forward.
Thanks for watching today.